BTS Jin appeared cheerful as he announced his comeback and apologized humbly during a show taping, but armies are now uncovering worrying clues that he may have been silently suffering all along. As millions of fans celebrated the long-awaited return of Jin, BTS, set to make his solo comeback on May 16, 2025, a subtle, easily overlooked moment during his recent appearance on Kian's Bizarre BNB has sparked a wave of heartbreaking speculation. On the surface, Jin's words were lighthearted, but behind the laughter, some fans heard something else. "I'm sorry for the inconvenience of working with a superstar like me. I'm serious," he said with a sheepish grin, bowing slightly as laughter erupted around him. It was a playful moment, until it wasn't. Eagle-eyed armies began circulating a slowed-down clip of Jin's comment across social media platforms, pointing to the barely concealed quiver in his voice, the slight tightness in his jaw, and the faint drop in his eyes right after the audience chuckled. Many now believe that Jin's joke was actually a veiled cry for understanding, one that was tragically misread as comedy. "It didn't feel right," one fan tweeted, along with a side-by-side video of Jin laughing versus Jin lowering his head afterward. He's always the one making others laugh, but this time it looked like he was covering something up. Another clip quickly went viral on TikTok showing Jin turning away from the camera for a few seconds after the segment. There's no audio, just Jin biting his lip, blinking hard, then breathing deeply. "That's not the look of someone joking," read one caption. "That's someone trying not to break down on national TV." The incident has reignited conversations about the immense pressure BTS members face, especially when they return from military service and are expected to smile, perform, and carry the brand of a global empire on their shoulders as if nothing ever happened. Jin, known for his unwavering loyalty and sense of duty, had never publicly hinted at any emotional burnout, until now, perhaps. But it doesn't end there. Behind the scenes, insiders revealed that filming for Kian's Bizarre BNB had been rescheduled twice to accommodate Jin's physical exhaustion. One anonymous source from the production crew allegedly told an entertainment blog he was visibly tired. Not physically, but emotionally. There were moments when he just stared into space between cuts, like he wasn't really there. Some fans are now calling out the show's hosts for what they see as a lack of sensitivity. Why did Kian84 and Jiyoon just laugh it off? Why didn't anyone check on him? Wrote one comment that received over 50,000 likes. Jin apologized when he shouldn't have. He's the guest. He didn't inconvenience anyone, they inconvenienced him. Other armies defended the hosts, suggesting that Jin's professionalism and charm are so flawless that even his sadness is hard to detect unless you really know him. Jin has always been good at hiding pain, but this time, it slipped out and we missed it. The question that now haunts the fandom is simple but devastating. Was Jin trying to tell us something? And did we laugh it away? As the date of Jin's solo comeback approaches, fans are beginning to rewatch old clips with new eyes. Every glance, every pause, every soft smile is now being dissected, not out of obsession, but out of worry. The community that once screamed with joy over superstar Jin is now whispering a collective hope. Please let him be okay. And maybe, just maybe, we should have listened more closely when he said, "I'm serious." The aftermath of Jin's statement didn't remain confined to fan speculation. Within 48 hours, global fan bases began trending hashtags like #ProtectJin, #YouDidNothingWrongJin, and #IHeardYouJin, accompanied by edits highlighting the eerie contrast between Jin's beaming public persona and the quieter, private moments caught in between cuts. Some edits began resurfacing moments from years ago, especially clips where Jin would laugh with everyone else, only to fall quiet when the cameras panned away. In particular, one 2019 backstage video was shared over 1 million times, where Jin sat alone after a concert, staring at his phone, his smile gone, eyes hollow. A member walked over to hand him water, and Jin smiled instantly again. That moment, once seen as ordinary, now feels prophetic. What if Jin's been dropping hints for years, and we all missed it? Wrote a longtime fan from Argentina. Not because we didn't care, but because he never wanted to make it obvious. He was always more worried about our feelings than his. That sentiment resonates with many who have followed Jin's journey from the very beginning. Despite being one of the most publicly loved and respected members of BTS, Jin's position has never been free of weight. As the eldest member, he's often carried the emotional burden of staying composed, even while younger members cried, faltered, or showed vulnerability. He's the one who would make a dumb joke in the middle of group tears just to lighten the mood. One fan recalled on Weverse. But who was doing that for him? And it wasn't just fans who took notice this time. A former stylist for BTS who worked with them during early tours anonymously commented on a private fan forum that Jin had a habit of joking when he felt unseen. "He's someone who uses humor as a shield," they wrote. When he said, "I'm serious," after calling himself a superstar, I immediately knew it wasn't just a punchline. It was a crack in the armor. The situation escalated further when a fan translated a brief moment during the Kian's Bizarre BNB episode that many had missed. Right after Jin made the comment, there was a 1-second cutaway to Ji-yoon glancing at him, not laughing, not smiling, but staring in brief surprise. That subtle reaction, when slowed down and magnified in a clip viewed more than 2 million times, now serves as evidence to many that at least someone in the room noticed something wasn't right. AS theories swirled. An even deeper discussion emerged among ARMYs. Is the K-pop industry too quick to commercialize happiness? Jin's comeback has been heavily promoted as a celebration of his return from military service. The teaser posters are bright, cheerful, and full of optimism. But now, in light of the recent moment, some fans are asking whether the pressure to smile for the camera after nearly 2 years of silence was simply too much, too soon. An anonymous staff member from a South Korean music broadcast anonymously told a local journalist that Jin's team had requested minimal interview time after his performances, possibly to reduce emotional strain. The staff member added, "He didn't request less rehearsal or less camera time, just less talking, less explaining." But the industry rarely allows that. Every comeback is a spectacle. Every moment must be curated. Every pause must be filled. When Jin stepped onto the set of Kian's Bizarre BNB, perhaps he was already running on emotional reserve. Maybe the comment was a test, a quiet attempt to see if anyone would really listen if he dropped the worldwide handsome act, even just for a moment. And the answer? Some laughed. Some didn't hear it at all. But the ones who did can't forget it. Several ARMYs have now created open letters to HYB, asking the agency to ensure Jin is truly ready for this comeback, not just physically, but emotionally. They've asked for transparency about his health, more breathing room in his schedule, and less press-heavy activities that might re-traumatize a heart still adjusting to post-military life. One viral letter reads, "Jin doesn't owe us strength. He doesn't owe us smiles. He gave us laughter for 10 years. Let us give him the silence he might need right now." But perhaps the most heartbreaking element of the story is not just what Jin said, but what he didn't. And no one knows for sure what battles Jin is fighting behind closed doors. But one thing is certain, his smile is no longer being taken at face value. A fan art illustration now widely circulated across Instagram, and X shows Jin standing alone in a crowded studio, the lights blinding, the cameras flashing, yet the bubble text above his head simply reads, "Can anyone hear me?" As we count down to May 16th, the anticipation of his music is now mingled with something far more powerful, a plea for grace, for gentleness, for space. And this time, when Jin smiles and says, "I'm serious," the world will be watching with open hearts and, hopefully, open ears.